Here we go. Hi, everybody. This is another day of the Hello 2025 interview transformational series. And I am super excited to having here Denise. Denise is very special for me. She is another one of my buddies. And, one of those people I always said, one of those people that when you know them, she makes your life brighter. She makes, it's so amazing. I always see you, Denise, like an unicorn. Like, like that, you're so special. And not only because you're unique, you're sweet. It's like there are rainbows around you. That's how I see it. So
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad that you're here with us.
You just made my whole year.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Denise today. And Denise is an agent for change. And she is a master transformational leadership and a relationship coach and trainer. At the age of 14, her father handed her Dale Carnegie. Can you help me with that word?
Carnegie, Dale Carnegie.
Okay. How to find friends and influence people to read. And she loved it and has been a student of leadership ever since. In 2020, Denise coaching began to include families, supporting emotional regulation, communication, and relationship building. She combines her passion for leadership and commitment with surveyed families with teens to heal and create harmony in their hearts and homes. Denise's passion for supporting others to grow has led her opening the doors of Global Leadership Academy. At the academy, she and her team supports individuals to become the highest version of themselves, organizations to grow, and families to thrive. She has been married to her husband, Scott, for 29 years, and they are the parents of three amazing children, Randy, Daniel, Olivia, and are blessed with a daughter-in-law, Mo, who is expecting their first grandbaby. Oh, that's so exciting.
I know, so
When is
excited.
she due?
In
Oh
February.
my God.
Be a grandma, Carla.
I mean, I cannot believe it because I see you and I don't see, grandma vibes, and I know you're going to enjoy it.
Spoil them and send them home. Yes.
Oh my God, that is going to be powerful. So again, as I told you before, it's going to be 4 questions, and then you take the questions wherever you want. If I have a follow-up question for that, then I will go. But it's flowy, and we'll go where the interview takes us. And
Awesome.
are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, perfect. So the first question is, what is it that you do? What is your purpose, Denise?
Yes. So I, as a master transformational leadership and relationship coach, I do focus on, as you read in the bio, really supporting people to see the best version of themselves. Like when I look at a person, Carla, I see not only what they are, but what they can be.
Mm,
It's really about seeing them in their best version and their highest version of themselves. And I hold up a mirror for them
mm,
until they can see it too. And I lovingly guide them in relationship with self. Starts here, relationship
mhm,
with myself, and then relationship with other people. So my mom used to always tell me when I was younger, you can't really love anyone else until you love yourself.
mm.
And it took me like till 48, 49 to really know what that meant.
Yes.
So I'm supporting other people to learn that a little bit earlier than I did. But really loving myself means that all the parts of me. And
Mm,
like I'm on this journey still to fall in love with my body,
yeah.
but it's really, so that's what I support people is creating that whole body, heart, mind, and spirit to
Mhm,
really connect, to be in vision and alignment with all the parts of you. And so that you can show up in your best version of you everywhere you go in relationship with your spouse or partner, your children, your neighbors, your coworkers, your clients, whoever it is, the barista at the coffee shop. the gate agent at the airplane when your flight is canceled. How do you show up in the best version of yourself when you really want to get home and your flight has been canceled?
Mm,
So that's
mm.
what I do, and it's about relationship with self and then relationship with others.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And we move on to the second question. What made you interested in what you do currently? And tell me about how you got there.
I love this. I love that almost all of these so far anyway, these two questions are in my bio as well, so I get to expand on that. So at age 14, my dad handed me that book, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And at age 14, I didn't know what in the world he was telling me, but obviously there was something I got to learn. And it
Mm-hmm.
was really about being mindful of other people and how I showed up. And so my interest in leadership started at that very young, impressionable age.
Mm,
And hold on one sec. I'm still recovering from this awesome bug, whatever is going around. Um, so I really, even at that age, I remember specifically in ninth grade being really involved in a peer leadership group, and like it was a peer mentorship group.
mm-hmm.
And I loved the idea of being a leader, and to me that meant to stand strong in what I value, and
Mm,
also to enroll other people in what it is that I see as possible.
mm,
So I did start then, and there's every facet of my life, every part of my life I can look at. So high school, college, becoming a wife, a mother, and the work that I do now, it is all focused on becoming the best version of me.
mm,
And it's really interesting because as I support other people in becoming the best version of themselves, I'm also growing. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. I'm creating that win-win where I find joy in doing
mm.
that, and I also create joy for others. I remember when I was teaching school. So I taught middle school,
Right.
junior high, English, and there's other times, I loved that because the light bulb moments for those kids, those teens. And that's what I love about what I do now.
Mm,
I love seeing the light bulbs come on and that like, oh, that new thought or mind blowing, as they say,
mm-hmm,
just that
mm-hmm,
moment where someone hears something differently than they've heard it before that causes them to create awareness for them, a new awareness, a new
mm-hmm,
aha, that then I can coach them into implementing that aha to create breakthroughs in their life, whatever
mm-hmm.
aspect of their life they want to create a breakthrough in.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. And moving on to the third question. So, what has been your biggest, most profound shift or transformation, and how has it affected your life?
Okay, so I will say the biggest transformation for me. So this is gonna get really personal.
Mm-hmm.
But having suffered from some significant trauma in my childhood that
Mm,
my body's still working on now feeling safe, years and years later. But the key thing, like I held it all together because suppressed my emotions and I was an overachieving perfectionist, like get things done kind of person. And I was a driver. And then there was a time where I had postpartum depression after my
yeah.
second child. And I went and I swung to the opposite extreme, and
Mm,
things were challenging, and they never felt like that before. And I didn't know how to navigate that. I didn't
mm-hmm,
have anyone in my life to help me at that time either. And at that time, we didn't talk about postpartum depression like we do
mm-hmm.
now. I mean, that baby's now 25. So, they talked about it, but it was in the doctor's office, not like on every, podcast and everything else. So that was a big shift for me. And then we became foster and adoptive parents. Once I had two babies, they're miracle babies. They're now 26 and 25. And then I wanted more. I wanted six babies. I wanted six children, Carla.
Yes.
And God blessed me with two. And then he granted me with this beautiful child that we adopted. We became foster parents, and it took me 7 years to enroll my husband in the idea. And then we adopted our daughter. Now, there's a lot of things they teach you in those foster and adoptive classes, but not everything. And we had no idea what we were walking into.
Mm-hmm.
And so, by my adopting a child who had suffered significant complex PTSD, it then exploded my PTSD.
Mm,
And so we created this. beautiful emotional entanglement.
Yeah.
If I were to draw a picture of that, it would be massive and colorful and full of lots of knots and twists and turns and overlaps. And I will say the biggest breakthrough, and I share all of that as background to the context of the biggest breakthrough for me. The biggest breakthrough for me was when I could create a separation of that
Mm,
entanglement. When that emotional chaos and entanglement, that I can literally separate that so that
mhm,
I can now live my life emotionally secure and
mhm,
independent of my daughter, who we had created that codependent relationship, and also of my other children and my husband and anyone else in my life where there was that crossover of emotions.
mhm.
I now created a space of emotional intelligence and independence for myself, which is a part of that journey of learning to love myself.
Mhm, mhm. Well,
Like my mom taught me so many years ago that I didn't get.
well, I think, again, we use words, right, to explain what we want and where we want to go. But one thing is to have an idea of how that is going to look like, and the other one is to actually land there. I really think that has been one of the biggest ones for me too, to understand that whatever I understand in my head doesn't necessarily means that I know how to apply it in my life. But it's a big
Mhm.
breakthrough to have even there. Okay, so I learn it. Now how do I apply it? That's another thing.
It's that integration. It's the knowing, the
Hmm.
doing, and the being,
There you go.
right? So it's learning to integrate those things, which is what I love doing. I love supporting people and creating that integration.
Beautiful. So that takes us to the question number 4. And number 4 is, what is your golden nugget that helps you to move on or shift every day? How do you do it, and what does it require from you?
Mm. So the golden nugget for me would be that I can choose,
Mm,
that it is the power of choice. I
mm,
just came back from a week-long vacation with my family and my daughter, who we did adopt, and there's still some emotional regulation challenges, even
mm-hmm,
at the age of 20. And one of the things I was talking to her about this trip was the power to choose. Even when she's in the emotional stage, she still has choice. And when
mm,
she's in that emotional spiral, oftentimes we allow ourselves to get in the emotional trigger activation, and we start spiral, and we learn to stop that spiral. But really, it's learning to choose not to go there, or to catch it as quickly as we
mm,
can, so that I am now emotionally in a good place. So,
mm,
for example, and this is really the golden nugget, right? Is the power to choose. We get to choose our emotions. So many
mm,
times people say, "Well, I felt this way, so I did this." And the real key thing is I can be tired and I can still speak to people with respect. I choose tired because that might have come up on the vacation. I'm just tired and I'm cranky. But the key thing is that the golden nugget here is that in that power to choose, there's a couple steps. One, create awareness. What is it
mm,
in this moment that I am feeling? Identify, name the emotion, name it to tame it.
mm,
Feel it to heal it. Allow myself to feel the emotion I'm feeling, not take it out on anyone. So if I need to take a time out, I get to take a personal time out.
mm,
Go allow myself to feel it, not for days or weeks, maybe for an hour, maybe 5 minutes. But the more I practice this, I can then get faster at allowing myself to go through the steps. Awareness, name the emotion that I'm feeling, get curious about where it came from. Where did this even start that this activated me? And really allowing myself to feel it, and then creating a conscious choice
mm,
to shift it. That is the key, and is managing emotions and really transforming our lives, is knowing that I have the power to choose every single moment how I want to show up, or call a timeout, take a break, and then come back.
But it's so powerful because, I really think that I didn't have a choice before. I didn't. And then suddenly having the choice. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean that it's happening how I want it. It doesn't mean, it means that I have a choice to choose my reaction rather than having to react in a pattern that I used to just, it was automatic
Hmm.
in me. And I love what you're saying because, yes, choice. Awesome. Beautiful.
Always a choice, always a choice. And it's what we're choosing in that moment to create. And, I talk to people a lot about giving ourselves time outs, and I really do mean that. Literally, for the people around you, especially Carla, like we get to tell our loved ones, I'm calling a time out. Even our
Mm,
colleagues, or, something's starting to get heated, call a time out and allow everybody to take a breath for 5 minutes, go on a little walk, and then come back into the meeting, come back into the conversation with a clear head, because when we go into that, and and that power struggle, and that, it's a lose-lose, and we're really about creating a win-win.
and it's so interesting what you're saying because when you're saying timeout, I was a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, and I had my kids, and and timeout it means, oh, you're in trouble, you know,
Right.
but then not necessarily because in a basketball game they will time out so they can strategize and get really smart about what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Right? And I
Yeah.
was thinking right here, it's like, oh, I get because I'm hearing the timeout and it's like, oh my God, it feels icky in my body. And suddenly I jump into it doesn't have to be icky. It can be truly powerful for me
Mm.
as a choice, right?
Yeah, like the word grounded. I intentionally named one of my programs the Grounded Parent. And I
Uh-huh.
had so much fun playing on that, right? Because when we were grounded as kids, this means you lost all your privileges, right? But
You
now we talk about being grounded means being like in an emotionally
Mm.
mature space.
There you go. There you go. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. So changing, shifting meaning is powerful. It's powerful for us.
absolutely. And that's one of the things I do every day. And you mentioned, you asked like, what do you do? Like it's really about creating that conscious awareness. That
Mhm.
awareness is key in creating any other shifts or transformation that when we want to create, awareness comes first. And then creating a conscious path, plan. I love that you time out in basketball. Thank you for that. Or any sport
It
really.
just came up. I was like, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So awesome. Denise, tell the viewers where they can find you.
Yeah. So, well, easiest to find me is on Facebook, Donice Noel, Noel Openshaw. Also, I have a webpage that you can find me, which is, I have a few, but I'll give you the key one, which is mygloballeadershipacademy.com. It's long, but you can find me there. It's really awesome. Mygloballeadershipacademy.com.
Beautiful. So you send me the link so I have it and I put it in your bio when I am posting this video and everybody has it. Anything else
Awesome.
that you want to share with the viewers, Denise?
It's just so wonderful to be here with you, and I look forward to hearing from those who are watching this and what transformations you're creating in your life. I look forward to hearing more, and know this. I know with Carla supporting you, you are, and all of the amazing speakers that she has on this summit, you have a wealth of knowledge and experience to glean from. So take it and implement it and ask for support where you get to have support,
Oh,
because
yes.
that's where the transformation will really be created.
Yes. Thank you, Denise. Thank you for
Yeah.
everybody out there. Again, thank you for being with us today. And tomorrow we'll have another speaker and another golden nuggets for you. Exciting to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.